wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working.
What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all the fantastic people. We're back at it again, folks. Day 2 happening right now. Folks, let's have some fun looking at some charts today, seeing what's going on with the overall market. Bitcoin sitting at 51,101. We're going to be checking out some charts, having some fun. So let everyone start trickling in. Say hello to some people who were here prior to the stream starting. Shout out to all the beautiful people as well. Let me turn up the mic just a smidge just to make sure. Perfect. And I'm gonna crank it up just a smidge more. all right. Mike. What day is it? Hump day. It is hump day, friends and family. February 21st, 2024, Wednesday, happening as we speak. We got Gloria Rafi. Hello, Miss Gloria. Good evening, ATX Crypto, and the community. Please deploy the like on entry. Thank you so much for that. As above, so below. RH Maxis to the moon, baby. Yeah, absolutely. We got Spriggs in the house. What's up, man? Another day closer to potential gains, 100%. CJ Hex Search, hello. Hex Glenn, hello. Audio check. Check 1 2 1 2. All right, make sure everything is all good on the audio side of things. Make sure everything is all good in general. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day as always, friends and fam. So starting off, click the like, click the subscribe, come on in, let's have some fun. We got the price of Bitcoin sitting at 51,000, basically 51,000 flat at this point in time. It's $51,027. This thing has been bouncing around all day. It's already hit a high so far today of 52,985, a low of $51,050. So we're bouncing around at this point in time in Bitcoin world, but I do expect to see a pullback, and it's a few different reasons why. We've talked about this in the past, but when Bitcoin has previously had a cycle top to the cycle bottom, it will go back up and retest this 618 level. It's exactly what it did. Cycle top to cycle bottom, went back, retested the 618 range. Once it hit this 618 range, it does typically have a pullback. So you can actually see at this point in time, it actually had a pullback of roughly around 50% at this point. And I'm not going to count the COVID dip because that was a different situation. So we'll say a 54% dip at this point in time. So I do anticipate that we're seeing a similar situation right now. As a matter of fact, on the Bitcoin world, you go from the previous cycle top to the bottom. And where are we currently sitting at right now? We are in that golden pocket zone. We did break out of it above the 782 level at this point. So it is a little curious if we will continue to remain in the bullish territory zone, or if we are going to actually dip back down as it has done so many times in the past. This is that beautiful chart made by CryptoCon once again. Shout out to CryptoCon. This does the exact same thing that we're talking about right here, where you can see from the times it's gone up to the cycle top to the cycle bottom, we retest that 618 zone and we get a 50% correction. Same thing in cycle 2. Went to the cycle top, retested the cycle bottom, went to the 618 level, 40% correction. Where did we do last time? We just looked at that chart just a moment ago. From the cycle top to the cycle bottom, 618 got tested. We did a 54% correction, and this is where we currently are sitting at right now, my friends and family and fellow cryptopreneurs. So I hope y'all are all having a fantastic day, because this is basically showing we're gonna probably seeing some pullback at this point in time. We had the launch of the Bitcoin ETF, of course. That may or may not be helping out with some of the engagement as well with Bitcoin. But from the overall sentiment, it seems like we are doing the exact same cycle that it's done before. So if you can expect somewhere between a 30, 40, 50% pullback, it does appear that we are going to be seeing 30K Bitcoin again prior to this actually thing taking off. Now, this is just one of those things that I'm paying attention to. There's plenty of news that can happen as well. The Bitcoin halving is actually right here in this range right here. So April 15th, we are actually going to be getting this little dotted line right there. That is the Bitcoin halving. Let me just go ahead and put some text on there. BTC halving, just so that way everyone can know. We'll put it at the bottom just so that way it's there as well. And that way, if anyone is curious as to what this dotted line is, that is the date of the expected Bitcoin halving. Apparently, we can determine that from the Dune as well. Dune.com is another resource that I've used to check out tons of different data, one of them being the estimated number of days until the Bitcoin halving and the expected date of the next halving as well, based upon the number of blocks needed to be minted, or number of blocks needing to be occurred. So every single time it does 210,000 blocks, Bitcoin halving occurs. Okay, so we have 8,500 blocks remaining, which is roughly about 56 days. I do expect to see this as a sell the news event. If you look at the previous past history on Bitcoin halvings and when they actually occurred, it very often happened that was my fault. It very often happens where you end up seeing it once again. So I'm actually going to pull up a separate page once again to see some more Bitcoin halving data, and then we're going to get into some price charts of the PulseChain ecosystem, HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, the incentive token, seeing what's going on there as well. So I hope y'all are all having a fantastic day. Let me say what's up to some more people who are checking it. Volume's a little low for me. Cool. Voice is low. Interesting. How is the volume now? Let me know how the volume sounds. I'm just reading the voice is low, so give me a heads up on that. Let me know all is good as well. What's up, Prospector? What's up, Benny Davis? Thank you for all you do. Appreciate that as well. Much love to all the Patreon supporters. ATX, my boy, what's good? How you doing, Mo Digging It? Bugs, what's up, my friend? I hope y'all are having a great day, man. It's a beautiful time to be here. It's a beautiful time to be around. It's a beautiful time to be doing all of this information. So let's kick it off, man. Let's have some fun. And this is going to be something we're checking out on a daily time scale as well. So pulling up a couple of different charts in the meantime. Guys, let me know what you can come up with on this one. I'm trying to see some more data nerd stuff on this one. Arkham Intelligence has like so much information on here that I'm trying to figure out how to discern it all as well, because you can actually pull up this and do a visualized chart as well, which is really freaking cool. You can see all the inflows, outflows of all the tokens happening in the ecosystem for PulseChain, PulseX, and from the sacrifice phase on to now. So whenever this decides to load, it's going to do its thing as well. And this is what's crazy. This is all happening from when it all first started. It was just like, boom, everything got sent out everywhere. And this is a ton of people that received all the sacrifices as well. And you can dive into each of these wallets. And it's something I'm going to be trying to find out some more information on. If you have messed with Arkham Intelligence before and you have some helpful tips and tricks on that, I'm more than happy to learn with you too. Much better now. Appreciate it. Sounds great. Awesome. Appreciate that as well. Gloria, thank you so much as well. So yeah, let's pull up the BTC halving as well, because there's, again, just plenty of data around this that I want y'all to kind of just get a ballpark mindset as to what's going on with it. And while we're just kind of waiting there, let's take a look at the ecosystem for the RH side of things. We have Pulse sitting at, well, let me just refresh the page, make sure we're all set here. Pulse sitting at 30131, which is roughly about 1.3x or 30% above SAC level. We have it at a 30-day progress at 20% gains. We have PulseX sitting at 40498, which again is currently below SAC about 50%. We have the incentive token sitting at $3.02. Hex on PulseChain is sitting at 1.58 cents. Hex on Ethereum currently sitting at 2094. So looking at what we can do with some of this data and some of these charts, we're going to kick it off with PulseX like we had started previously. We've looked at this as well. We want to see that we are still holding this formation. Something I am paying attention to is the 9 and 15 EMA. I've discussed this multiple times, but the 9 and 15 EMA give you a good idea as to which way the market wants to go. It seems like we have continued to want to get bearish on the market, and we keep fighting out of it, and it seems to want to get bearish and we keep fighting out of it. This has been the closest it's actually gotten to cross at this point. So if it does fall below this today and we don't get a pretty significant pump, most likely you're going to see that 9 cross the 15, which by the way is a bearish sign. You can see anytime it's done this in the past, we have actually gone bearish for a little bit. So let's just look at the last time something like this happened, the 9 crossed the 15. We actually stayed bearish from this point in time, just from this chart alone, for the span of, we'll say, until it actually came back to this little level all the way over here, which is roughly about 50 days. So could we be seeing that in the near future when it crosses? It also did the same thing when the 9 crossed the 15 right here. We actually flipped into a bullish side of things. It couldn't quite hold it for the 15-day period. We flipped bearish for one last little final dip at this point, and then it actually went into a nice little run up. So, okay, thank you. So this is what has happened previously. We could see a span of just a few days before we go super bullish, because this is kind of how it went down. We saw the 9 EMA cross the 15 EMA on this side. When it actually crossed, again, it was for a span of about 5 days, and then we went on a mega tear at that point in time. And this is kind of what I could see happening once again, folks, because this thing absolutely smashed. And if you were buying during this time, congrats, because over this span of time, you did get roughly about a 4x on your money at that point, a 5x on your money at that point, because that is a massive move on the upside, and just seeing that is just getting started on it all as well. So keep that in mind, folks. What I'm seeing, just looking at the charts right now, it's that exact same sentiment. I'm going to flip this where the lines don't necessarily extend all the way to the right. Perfect. And yeah, once again, 9-15 EMA, we are hitting in here. We are sitting in a wedge formation right now. Continue to hold this level as a support. So a flip, that is typically a bearish indicator. We would want to see it hold it as support. So we'd actually want to see it do something right here where it kind of bounces up for a little bit, goes back into a bullish signal, and then pump all the way up and maybe stay within the wedge like we've talked about previously before it has its full final breakout. On bullish flags, when you end up getting breakouts like this, it is typically seen as a nice little bullish indicator as well, which, by the way, if you actually do the same pattern as where it went before, we would be seeing prices on PulseChain sitting around 3033, which is roughly about 33% of the SAC level. We do often hit the 1618, which is right at the 6 on pumps, and this is very commonly hit, guys. So just FYI, those are the levels I'm kind of paying attention to. Obviously, one, we just want to break the previous all-time high. If we can break above that, then yeah, everyone's in profit. No one has any room to be bitching, crying, or complaining at this point in time. I've been hearing a couple of little whiny babies in the background because they haven't made the profit that they're looking for, or they may have been degenning into different tokens instead of just doing a simple task of DCA. And I've shared this already in the past, but folks, the degen play is not the way to go. The DCA play is in fact the way to go. So with this wallet alone, I started a DCA strategy back on September 15th of 2023, right? So September 15th, 2023, I started putting in $5 a day into PulseChain, HEX on Ethereum, and PulseX. Those 4 tokens alone. I've been buying them every single day, exactly like we've said. Every single day has passed, and so far at this point in time, if you just look at where the chart was, I've spent roughly around $800 into each token. And so I've put $800 so far into HEX on PulseChain, $800 into HEX on Ethereum, $800 into PulseChain, and $800 into PulseX, which overall is roughly around $3,200. That portfolio is sitting around $6,700 at this point in time. DCA is the play, folks. Again, I'm not trying to make some mad quick gains out of nowhere. This is a smart, simple strategy that has been proven to be effective so many times in the past. Why would this time be any different? So looking at the PulseX chart, that's my play right there. It's a way of making this little progress right here and then on to the moon from where we end up going. And yeah, let me see what's going on with some more people. What's up? Thanks for all you do. Appreciate you as well. Great now. Thanks. Much better now. Appreciate. Man, just finished watching Alligator Man episode from Atlanta and come to an ATX stream. Love it. Lol. Appreciate you, A-fam. Now, once again, guys, we have actually hit the 50 and 200. This is a golden cross pattern. So if you actually are paying attention to golden cross movements, the 50-200 hit on the 19th of January of 2024, mega bullish in general. So yes, we could have some pullbacks in the short term, but I do anticipate that we're seeing a massive pump in the near to again, short term, depending upon what your definition of short term is, I guess. So my definition sits somewhere in the ballpark of the next couple of months. So this is where we're sitting at the end of April. I would love to kind of know what's going on. Bitcoin has gone through, and it's most likely going to get its dump like we had talked about around the halving. This is 100% a sell the news type event. So if you actually see something like this, this is where I would see us hitting around the 30K range, depending upon where it ends up going back to, whether it's a 40% dip, 50% retracement. We don't exactly know, but the Bitcoin halving has been very commonly a sell the news event. Let's just look at all the other halvings in the past, as a matter of fact. So anytime you see the blue line right here, let me just start renaming these so I can actually put some text on these. Text, I'm going to say BTC halving. And here we go. BTC halving. And BTC halving. All right, cool. So what can you expect, right? This is the first time you got the Bitcoin halving around this situation. We actually went sideways as well, but we did get around a 13% pullback at that point before it had its nice little run up. And that was in the span of 119 days before you saw the first local top, and then it went off to do massive gains from there, right? Another 64x from that little halving moment alone. If you actually were to pull back the most recent time, this was the Bitcoin halving around this time. Again, we went sideways before a nice little pullback. This was that COVID dip area, so it is something to pay attention to. Again, that was one of those tough to gauge because that was global scale situation, and even then from the halving it went off and did a massive run up again, about a 10x gain. I don't see Bitcoin doing the massive gains as it once did, but you never know, man. We're getting the ETFs and everything right now, so we're around this point in time. We're in this ballpark right now. I'm waiting to see where we go for the halving. We could go sideways, we could go down. If we're in this little range of 39k, it wouldn't surprise me. And then after that little range of 39k, it's just gonna absolutely go up and smash some numbers that people may not even believe are real anymore. I remember, you know, you would hear it all the time. Oops, I got the halvings all right here. So these are all the halvings I was just talking about right here. Let me actually throw this last one on. BTC halving. Throw the chat box on there so y'all can also see what's going on. Let me say hello to some more beautiful people as well. Crypto Wonder, how you doing, my friend? Facing Reality, Crypto Chino, what's up? Heximus, PulseXimus, what's up? So, Bitcoin halving right here went down roughly around 30%, and it went sideways for that point in time for about 133 days before it actually started breaking through that halving date at that point. So that's kind of where I'm anticipating we start seeing the similar situation happen on some of these other tokens. We actually had the Bitcoin halving back here, and again you can see it actually went down for the span of 15%, and it kind of stayed sideways for about 100 days here as well before it actually started going through and tearing and making these new crazy all-time highs. We go back to where we actually were in COVID. Again, that was a random freak event, so that's tough because it's, you know, it's a kind of, you want to call it a one-off scenario type play, but you never know. There could be something else that ends up being a situation. But neither here nor there, it actually had a massive run up once again from the Bitcoin halving. This is on weekly, so it's tough to exactly say, but it did see a 37% dip at that point in time, and it actually stayed sideways for around 30 days before it actually, or 35 days before it actually got to see the nice little run up that we actually all got to see. And if you weren't in crypto back then, well, congrats. You know, like, you're getting in early. PulseChain is one of those tokens where you can see a massive gain in the ecosystem of PulseChain. So let's just see what PulseChain's looking like right now. PulseChain, pretty little chart right here once again. we have fallen out of the wedge at this point. This is on the 3-day chart, so I can throw it on the daily. We broke below the 3-day chart at this point, or we broke below the wedge that we've been sitting on. Typically, when you do break out of the formation, it is a bear signal. We also have the 9:15 EMA coming up. I'm just giving y'all a heads up as to what I'm seeing in the very short term, near term future. One thing I will say though, the stochastic RSI is incredibly oversold at this point in time, meaning that we could be seeing this flip into a nice little bullish momentum. That's usually what will happen when things are oversold at this point. So when you start reaching these levels of the stochastic RSI, you can see around this time when we were here, we got a nice little pump up from this date alone. We actually got to see again a little pump up of 30%. You see it down here, nice little pump once again of 36%. So could we be seeing that once we actually fall below this full stochastic RSI? For sure, just a matter of where it decides to stop. We got plenty of support resistance around this point in time for the 0.00012. That's where I would be seeing a pullback if we do see a significant pullback. If the 9 EMA crosses the 15 EMA. We talked about this moments ago, but typically when this thing does cross, it is a bearish momentum. Something does go bearish, whether it's for a few days. This was 9 days in particular. This one alone, before we actually flipped into the next side, was roughly around 29 days. This one was very short. It was within the span of 6 days, 5 days even. So it's just a matter of how long does it want to stay bearish for before that next pump. When the pump happens, folks, it is quick. This is a 3x gain within 12 days, okay? So when it happens, it goes super fast. So that's what I'm seeing. This is a SAC price again. Let me probably make this a little bit smaller. No need to have it so large. That way it just kind of gets rid of some of the extra stuff on that. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now in the ecosystem. We really want to start breaking through some more local tops. We are still making higher highs and higher lows at this point, or higher. Yeah, so we have a higher low situation right here. We have another higher low situation right here. We have another higher low situation right here. So ideally, we'd want to continue seeing higher lows once again. We have higher highs happening here, here, and here. So we want to really continue seeing this little wave happen. This could be an Elliott pattern or an Elliott wave. So you get the impulse and you get the wave happening right now. And then again, you get the little ABC correction where you end up doing one thing or another. You get an ABC correction, and then you typically get the next little Elliott wave pattern that actually likes to go all the way up once again. And that'll kind of put us back to, guess what? Previous all-time high. So you know what I mean? Like, could you wait until probably around March, April at that point in time to start seeing some of these numbers? Could it take a little bit longer? Sure. There's no way of knowing exactly what it is that's going to cause the next pump. A whale can come in and easily smash all of this as well. So yeah, let me actually see what's going on with some chats real quick. Say hello to some more beautiful people. Facing Reality, thank you so much as well. We still have 18 months to go. Our time will come. Team win. 1,000%, my friend. 1,000%. I wholeheartedly believe that. I hope all of y'all do as well. Thank you so much for the super chat once again, Facing Reality. Man, just finished watching. Yeah, exactly. Let me see real quick. Crypto Wonder, what's up, my boy? Crypto Chino, how you doing? Share your screen, brother. Yeah, I had to. Good morning. Enjoyed purchasing PLS bag. Exactly. Yo, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you have a mindset that this thing's gonna do, even if you were to buy right now and you still got to see 100x, 200x, 500x your money, that's gains you don't see anywhere else. Yes, crypto world is possible, but in real life, those are gains that you'll never see. That's why people have such a hard time believing in crypto in the first place, right? Because it's this fake imaginary internet money type deal. Oh, there's the super chat. Appreciate your face from reality. We definitely still have 18 months to go as well. 100%, y'all. 100%. So 18 months, and again, this is one of those, if you looked at the most recent RH video that we just checked out yesterday in yesterday's stream, he talked about 50 weeks to shake out the weak hands. We actually pulled up the dates on this one as well, which at this point in time, we have roughly around 65 days remaining until the 50-week mark, and it's just incredible, guys. It's just absolutely incredible. This is one of those things that I'm really anticipating a whole lot of people to make a whole lot of money on. I really can't wait to see everyone just in extremely excited euphoria once again, where we are making new all-time highs on these tokens. People are all stoked to be looking at everything. It is something I am keeping my eye on, okay? For sure. Let me see live chat. Here we go. There we go. Okay, cool. The live chat was weird. I feel like people forgot about DCAing out there. Hexad, you're not wrong. Any news on the RH SEC case? Nah, they postponed until after spring break. Both parties said, hey, conflicting schedules, let's postpone until March. So basically at this point in time, it's being held, I believe, until March. We're just waiting on that at this point to really see what actually ends up happening. What's up, John Neese? How you doing, my brother? But yeah, guys, this is what I'm seeing on the hex side of things. If I'm actually checking out the hex side, this is hex on PulseChain at this point in time. You can see the price sitting at 1.5 cents at this point. The 9 and 15 just recently crossed, so it is something I am paying attention to. The 9 crossing the 15, once again, we do typically see it go bearish, whether it be for a few days. In this situation, it was 3 days, or whether it be a nice little bullish situation. However, we are playing within this wedge for the hex side of things. So even if it decides to go bearish, we've already basically hit the wedge. Could we bounce back up, flip bullish, come back here, flip bearish, come back here, flip bullish, right? And play within this wedge until it decides to actually break out or break down. It is something I am keeping my eye on. It's something that we will be checking out every single day. Because it's something I am curious on. But once again, the stochastic RSI incredibly oversold at this point. We can see the times where it has been oversold in the past and what actually was able to happen during this time period. So I'm really looking forward to see kind of like what we actually end up making this into, folks. I really want to see how this all plays out in the near term and short term future. Then the 50 and 200 are still in a golden cross situation, so beautiful golden cross here. We do want to maintain this golden cross pattern, so keep that in mind. But typically when things do flip on a golden cross, whether it be the little short term, doesn't really matter in the long term, because this is a bullish signal right here, which means we're going up into the moon type situation. Moon's over here, you know, looking all pretty and that kind of stuff, right? All right. So that's the hex on PulseChain side of things. If we actually look on the EHEX side of things, it's currently sitting at 20926. We have met plenty of resistance at the 1 cent threshold, whether that's a psychological threshold, whether people just don't want to let it go higher than 1 cent at this point in time. There's plenty of people in the ecosystem who are selling their positions. There was a person recently today who sold 26 million hex. And they sent it to a centralized exchange and then swapped it there and took massive slippage. I don't know why you would ever do that, but you know, you thought you were doing a smooth move and a smooth play, but that was, you know, you get wrecked on that kind of stuff. Now we are still in a situation where the RSI is a little bit high on the EHEX side of things, so curious to see what it actually ends up breaking down. Again, the only one who's really shown the 9 EMA crossing the 15 is the hex on PulseChain side of things at this point. Everything else seems to be sitting kind of in a situation where we're kind of still and stagnant. But once again, folks, this is something I'm definitely keeping my eye on. Do we break below? Do we keep going lower? If we do continue to go lower, how low is it really likely to go type situation? So we're going to put some levels that I'm going to be trying to keep my eye on. These are levels of support and resistance previously at this point. So if I was to, let me actually get rid of this one here and just put it right here. So these are levels of support and resistance that we're paying attention to. We are bouncing off that level of support at this point. So we are going to see, do we decide to bounce off it and continue going into a bullish situation? We really just got to get out of this whole range, right? Like once we get out of this range that we've basically been sitting in, then we're looking to do something a lot different at that point in time. But until we actually break out of this range right here, I can see us going, you know, sideways, back down. The levels I am paying attention to, as stated previously, are going to be the 20926, which is basically where we currently are right now, and 20743. Those are my main two factors I'm keeping my eye on. We're going to take a look at this every single day and see which way it decides to actually go with it. So What's happening in the ETH side of things? So Ethereum actually hit $3,000 yesterday. So congrats to Ethereum. I think it actually ended up hitting a high at one point in time of $3,032 as a matter of fact. So congrats to the Ethereum side. This is typically signs that we are going through and flipping into a bullish pattern. However, Ethereum is very correlated with Bitcoin, friends and family. Ethereum is very correlated with Bitcoin. So it's something to pay attention to and something to keep my eye on. My DJ bag has deleted LOL, but I haven't touched a penny of Pulse. There you go. Appreciate that. That's awesome. It's always good to share this information with other people as well. That way it can actually do it. So here we go. Anyways, guys, this is going to be a fun little stream. I'm going to wrap it up on this one for today, but I'm going to be back tomorrow with some more fun information. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're coming out and doing these daily little streams, checking out the overall market sentiment, seeing what's going on with everything. Be sure to like it as well, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout, and fame, mud, disease, and plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game.